Johnny Carson left the Nebraska plains to preside over late-night TV for almost 30 years. The United States honors Johnny Carson, who personifies the heart and humor of America.
Johnny was pitched numerous projects in retirement, but didn't pursue any of them. He knew he could never top what he'd done, and that was just fine with him. Though offered countless awards, he accepted only those he could not refuse. The closest he came to working again was to fax jokes to his friend, David Letterman.
Johnny was so proud. He would call me and say, "Did you see he used 3 of my jokes last night?" And he was like a kid all over again, saying, "I loved hearing my jokes on the air again."
Johnny Carson made his last appearance on television when he delivered a top 10 list to Letterman. He received a 90-second standing ovation.
We went to Africa, and he learned to speak Swahili. We got over there, we're in Tanzania, and there's Johnny, talking to the guy driving the truck, talking to the guy at the airport, trying to see if it's really good. Do they understand me? Getting more confident. We're way out in the Serengeti, and he would be talking about elephants or something, and they'd be laughing and and daring him to do things. And all I know is he was talking and they were laughing. It's amazing. That's a gift.
More and more, Johnny retreated behind the gates of his Malibu home overlooking the Pacific Ocean. He continued to play tennis, remained an avid reader, and spent long hours sitting outside gazing at the sea. Friends said that Johnny was never more content than when he was alone on the water, as far away from humanity as possible. In later years, he even saw less of his wife, Alex.
And there was almost an understanding that they were kind of living a slightly separate life, but she understood him and he understood her, and I guess they were just fine with that. I think I also heard that he said, "I don't want to be known as a guy who got divorced 4 times."
We went out, dropped anchor, and thought it'd be a nice time for a swim. And Johnny was a very athletic, a very strong guy. And he didn't swim any more than a few strokes. And he came up for air and he said, "Wow, I'm out of breath already." And you could see he was alarmed about it. Might have been the first time that he had a wake-up call that he had emphysema.
Johnny was one of those people who sincerely believed that he had an immunity against the ills of smoking, and that he had fooled himself into believing that he was one of those people that smoking would never harm.
He had stopped smoking at that time, but I don't think he was too thrilled about the fact that he caused the situation and knew that he did that.
But I think he was covering up. He wasn't letting us know just how sick he was.
And when he got ill, he called me because he knew I was a smoker. And the last thing he said to me was, "These damn cigarettes." And I said, "I know, John."
Here's that rainy day they told me about, and I laughed at the thought that it might turn out this way.
I think Johnny himself was content and at peace with it. And he didn't want to live a compromised life on oxygen tanks. That wasn't who he was. But he did wish to go at that point. He didn't want to fight.
Funny how love becomes a cold, rainy day. funny that rainy day is here.
So we interrupt this program. That was it.
Johnny Carson died on January 23, 2005. He was 79 years old.
I could not believe how stunned I was the day Johnny died, and I happened to be renting a place in Malibu from which I could look right across what is actually called Paradise Cove to where Johnny's house was. I just sat out there. I sat out there for like an hour. You go, and you go, like, you know, I'm not that close to that guy. And then I realized how close I was.
In fact, when he passed away, I read a story in the Omaha Herald, and they had a listing of all the things that he had donated to, and I only knew a few of them. It was amazing. He would just do it. He would see a story about someone in need and pick up the phone and write a check all the time. And he never said anything to anybody about it.
So there he is in the end with the largest charitable foundation of probably anybody that's ever been in the entertainment business. And nobody knew.
And that was the most intimate relationship probably between viewer and star in all of television because of that hour and his role in soothing you at the end of your day. And we can go on and get up in the morning and it'll be all right, and here we go again. And it was so important, and what he did there, nobody has ever touched.
You're a policeman, you're a nurse, you're a fireman, you're someone who deals with tragedy. You come home at night, you turn on the TV, you just want to have a laugh. He never brought you down to, oh, here's what's going on, oh, my life is so horrible. He always elevated everybody up, and I think that was the key. You felt good after watching the show.
I said, Johnny, I'm mad at you. I think a lot of us are mad at you who have to do this for a living now because you lulled us into doing it by making it look so easy.
Johnny Carson coalesced my life. He gave me something to aim for, something to emulate. Well, that's not going to happen, but you know, you got to have a target. You got to have something to shoot for. He put me together as a person, honestly. So I forget the question, but that's the answer.
We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a sweet episode.
I would say it would probably be Professor Hoffman's Book of Magic. That would be the Rosebud, the first magic book he ever picked up, and he decided, huh, what's this? A way to transform himself into something else, something bigger, something that would impress and yet quietly do it, elegantly do it. Magic. Magic is his Rosebud.
For all of the years, for the laughs, for the tears, for the class that you showed, make it one for my baby and one more for the road that long, long road.
Sis boom ba.
Sis boom ba.
Describe the sound made when a sheep explodes.